Hey, I'm Deasis with Watching Watchtower, and this video is regarding the witnesses and governing bodies' reaction to the coronavirus. In my opinion, I feel like it is a exaggerated flu, but I am no scientist or physician, so everyone needs to decide what they need to do during this time period. I think it's really interesting and telling, though, that the witnesses are taking so much action, because in the past, they did not really respond to things like this as much, especially in times of the memorial. That was one of the meetings that you got to, and they would encourage you to get to any way you can. So it's very surprising that there are so many cancellations of the memorial attendance here in America. And I think that this is a great time for those who are ex-witnesses to talk to their witness members or witness family members and friends about this, because surely there are a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses active right now who are watching the cancellations and watching all of this playing out and probably wondering what the hell's going on. They're probably surprised that so many problems and cancellations would happen around the time of the memorial. So this is a great way to really build upon that healthy doubt, if you ask me, that would make them question whether this is from Jehovah or not. Because you would think that Jehovah would want people to get to his memorial, the most important day of the year, where he sacrificed his son in exchange for our salvation. So it's a very interesting point to talk about and bring up. Why would he allow, so much delay, so much inconvenience to happen around the memorial time? In fact, the memorial that we were going to protest here recently, it got canceled. This big, huge assembly where it was planned out has been totally canceled. And now they're telling the witnesses, rank and file, to meet in small groups and to not only meet in small groups, but they're also telling the elders to JW live stream it. But they're leaving it up to the elders, which is really interesting, because in my opinion, that would be a great way to avoid the accountability of telling you to go to the meeting, to come to the memorial, or still encourage you to do it directly enough for them to get in legal trouble. So they have allowed the elders to make arbitrary decisions regarding this. If anything comes back, it's more on the elders than it is on the governing body, because they can turn around and say, well, we didn't tell you guys to come. But they did apply all the friendly pressure needed for you to read between the lines and to feel the obligation to go to this memorial. But now they can do it without the accountability, in my opinion. So I want to talk about this letter that they wrote recently. It is dated March 13th. So today is the 15th, Ides of March. And it's very telling. So, Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, March 13th, 2020. To all congregations are a coronavirus outbreak. Further direction. Dear brothers, the situation with coronavirus, COVID-19, is changing day by day. Further to the letter we sent yesterday, because they sent about 5, we are providing supplementary direction. Field ministry. All house-to-house and public witnessing activities should be suspended until further notice. Publishers may be able to take advantage of other methods of preaching, such as witnessing to people they know, by telephone, text message, email, or letter. All should use good judgment and exercise caution. Pioneers should not feel any obligation to meet our goals or hourly goals. Meetings. These should be arranged in smaller groups in private homes. The body of elders will provide information as to the local arrangements. Please be assured of our warm Christian love and best wishes. Your brothers, Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. 2 bodies of elders, circuit overseers. P.S. to bodies of elders. Please communicate this to publishers in your congregation immediately. Congregations in Ireland have already had some direction concerning meetings. Additionally, elders should not visit publishers in person, since this could inadvertently spread a virus. Decide locally how to present meetings. For example, meeting participants only could go to the Kingdom Hall or other locations and transmit the meeting to groups. Group overseers could conduct a congregation Bible study and watchtower study with their groups. Groups could meet to view JW Stream. Some may tie into meetings, view JW Stream individually or as families. As stated before, maintain a record of meeting attendance, whatever is arranged. Give older and vulnerable one special consideration. So, a member of Watching Watchtower made a very good observation about this letter, and I wanted to share it with you. And I cannot mention his name. Watching Watchtower is a private group. But he did make a very good comment. And if you're watching, great comment, great observation. I'm going to read it now. He said, quite interesting that they are focused on the meetings / curriculum versus making sure the vulnerable have what they need, food, prescriptions, etc. And that's a very good point. If you notice the body of the letter, yes, it had a little bit of love, best wishes and all that stuff, but it was mainly focused on curriculum and attendance. To me, that's a little disturbing because you didn't really see a lot in that letter that said, hey guys, be careful out there and we hope everyone's okay. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Make sure you're stocking up on food because it's going fast. Hell, toilet paper's going fast. You didn't really see a lot of that. It just said make sure that meeting attendance is up to par. So to me, that's very telling about what the governing body's motivation here is. They want to make sure that they can keep you indoctrinated, in my opinion, and keep you busy. To hell with your health and, what you're going through during this time. They want to make sure that you are staying plugged in, because the longer that you are out of commission, the more you have time to think and drift away from them and really study a lot of things that are very corrupt, like the memorial itself that they're canceling all over the world. That is a ritualistic rejection of Jesus. In fact, official Jehovah's Witness teaching is that Jesus is not your mediator. The 144,000 mediate for mankind between you and Jesus. Jesus is not your direct mediator, even though that completely contradicts what the Bible actually says in 2 Timothy, I believe, where he says we have but one Christ, one mediator between God and man, the man Jesus Christ. So saying that the 144,000 mediates for man and not Jesus is overstepping their boundaries and even blasphemous. It's going beyond what is written, to quote the Bible. So I think it's very sad that this is happening. I think it's very sad that they just overall don't seem to personally care for the sheep, but want to make sure that their numbers and curriculum are right, and it really shows where their priorities are. And like I said before, this is a very interesting time because this is a great opportunity to witness to your family members who are still active Jehovah's Witnesses, who are still indoctrinated, and to really get them to question if this really is from God. Why would the meeting be canceled, or why would so many memorial meetings be canceled in so many places? If God wanted you to be able to make it to this memorial, then why would so much stuff be happening right now? Why would this be going on the way that it is? So those are my thoughts on that. I wanted to share that with you. And I hope that everyone's enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. And for all those out there that are struggling with their faith, stay encouraged. And to active Jehovah's Witnesses or apologists that are watching, we are not your enemy. Our argument and our battle is not with you. It is with your leadership and what we believe that they're doing that we believe can be easily proven by Scripture to be wrong and even abusive towards you. We are your friends, not your enemies. Thanks for watching. There was actually two more aspects that I wanted to talk about regarding the cancellations that are happening too. I think that Watchtower is also so willing to comply instead of be hard asses like they usually are this time, because they've already got a bad rap. I mean, the documentary, The Witnesses on Oxygen, it just came out here, a month or two ago. And so I really feel like they're feeling the heat. So I feel like in a move to desperately show that they're reasonable and be politically correct, I think that this is why they've been a lot more willing to comply with a lot of social norms this time around. I also wanted to mention a point that John brought up, that he said, now I'm not sure if John came up with this quote or if he heard this quote, but I was talking to John from XJW Analyzer earlier, and he said something that was also interesting too, more theory about why this could be happening. And he said that it could be that they've canceled so many of the larger meetings, even for the memorial, because, and not just the memorial, but meetings in general, because the loyal rank and file members are usually elderly, especially nowadays. So that is really the bulk of the religion as it sits right now. It's older people. Now my theories for that are because they aren't as Google savvy, and they're not, they just don't know how to Google stuff the way that the younger generations, Gen X, Generation Y, Generation Z, are so prone to do nowadays. They were raised with it really instilled in them and just taught to never question that. So I feel like the boomers and older will not question this stuff. And I don't, to their credit, I feel like it's because they have been taught not to. You can't look up something and do research for something that you don't even know you're supposed to be looking up, because if you believe that something is true, you don't even really give it any further thought process. You just accept it as it is what it is, and by the time you're hearing certain things, it's already for granted that you believe this certain set. So, it's almost like they have a flashlight and they're walking down the hallway, but they can only flash it at things that they know to flash it at. Maybe they don't even know to flash it above them. Maybe they don't even know that right over here there's a trap door and then another hallway that they need to go and investigate, because they don't know. So I feel like we, that is to say Gen X, millennials, Generation Y, Generation Z, I feel like we need to be especially patient with our boomer and older silent generation friends and family. They have this really instilled in them, and like I said before, I think that that's the reason that they have canceled so many meetings and really been willing to comply with social norms, because that is the bulk of their loyalist rank and file right now. A lot of the younger generation, that is Gen X and younger, we're questioning this stuff. We're doing research. We're Googling this stuff and finding out that a lot of it is not nearly as rock solid and as inspired as we may have thought it once was. But anyways, those were also two theories that I had that weren't necessarily my own, but just thoughts that I had that I wanted to share with you guys. I would say the first one was probably my theory. The second one definitely wasn't. That was John and whoever he talked to. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the reason that they're so willing to comply with social norms, especially about this coronavirus, when in times past they haven't really been as adamant, is really to save face at this point, because the whole world is really coming down on them and crashing down on them. And witnesses, if you're watching this or just now tuning into this, I would say do your research. Do the same thing that you tell us to do. Do your research. Look this stuff up. It's not coming from Satan. It's coming from just genuine, hard, neutral knowledge. But anyways, those were a couple of thoughts that I forgot when I recorded this video. So, yeah.